am a big believer. If you're blessed in life, the best thing you can do with a blessing is to share it with other people. The Inn's mission is serving hungry and homeless Long Islanders. That was the mission when the Inn first began back in May of 1983. So if a guest comes in, we don't want to say, oh, you know what, if you need help finding a job, you can go to this location in Hicksville. For many of the guests, getting to Hicksville is not a practical alternative. So we're very proud of the fact that when a guest comes in, whatever help they may need, we're all kind of here under one roof. There's never any questions asked. There's definite reasons for that, and they relate to the idea of the dignity and respect of the individuals we help. When someone comes to the Mary Brennan INN Soup Kitchen, they're welcome with open arms. The only requirement here is knock on the door and ask for help. That model works very effectively because I think there's a real community bond built between the volunteers and the guests.
I started volunteering here because I sort of had an impasse in my personal life. I had retired, and like a lot of retired people, I was casting about for a way to use the energy and talents that I had in a way that would be meaningful. My dad had just passed away, so that took away some of the structure of my life in terms of being a caregiver. I kind of see both sides of the operation. On Mondays, I work on the boutique, and on Wednesdays, I'm at the soup kitchen. I wanted a community with other people, and I found that.
I decided to volunteer here at the Mary Brennan INN because I worked in healthcare for many years, and I made up my mind that when I retired, I was going to volunteer someplace. So I've been volunteering here at the Mary Brennan INN for quite a while. And so my responsibilities right now include making sure that the pots and pans and the things that have to be washed are very thoroughly washed and sanitized.
I've been volunteering here for about 9 years. I'm the greeter at the door every Friday. I think every volunteer here has their own story about why they're here. My dad grew up in the Jewish orphan asylum on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and he hated it and he ran away and lived in the streets. And he told me he would walk around the streets day after day looking for soda bottles, which had a 2-cent deposit. When he got 6 cents, he would go into a luncheonette and sit at the counter and order a cup of coffee. And when the man wasn't looking, he would take the whole bottle of ketchup and pour it in his coffee. That was his lunch every day, and that gave him energy to get through the day. I just wish there was a place like the Mary Brennan INN for my dad.
The Inn is very organized, and I would say very professional. Professional in terms of how they want the volunteers to interact with the guests.
I think the satisfaction of just knowing when you're trying to assist somebody in one of the deepest, darkest moments of their lives and you're able to help a little bit, it's a really gratifying feeling.
Every guest is unique. Most of them are very grateful for all the work we do. About a week and a half ago, a lady was coming. It was a very cold day, and I saw her walking with her shopping cart to the door, and I immediately ran out to open the door for her, and she looked up at me and she says, "I love you, Poppy," and I just melted. To me, that was like getting the Academy Award. We're here to serve. And cheerfully serve, and that's what every volunteer does here.
One of the things that I like about the Mary Brennan INN is that they will invest in the volunteers when they're here for a long period of time. And so I've taken a food service manager's course, and I've also taken other courses here having to do with everything like how to distress a negative environment.
I think the fact that everyone is so nice and so kind in a lot of ways, in their own different ways. You get to understand human beings a little bit better. You learn to deepen your sense of compassion and empathy. Nothing here is judgmental. People are all here for their own reasons. And I think that's the eye-opener, to sort of understand that underneath our common humanity and basic goodness. For future volunteers, I would just say, keep an open heart, keep an open mind. Initially you may be put off by a little bit of what you see and hear and experience, but learn to listen to yourself and understand, connect with people on the basis of your shared humanity.
I urge everybody to either come here or find another venue to volunteer. It helps a lot of other people, but it also helps your heart and soul, and it's just a great place to be.
We are very much like family. One of the things that will happen is if somebody is sick, or if a loved one passes away, if somebody has a child or a grandchild, the rest of the group tends to be encouraging and supportive of them.
Come once and try it. Come a couple of times and try it. If you like it, come back. But a broad, diverse base of volunteers is really, really important to the mission of the inn. So we welcome all volunteers.